Hey, it's Tim,
Hey, it's David.
and we are actually
We're not worth it, fries.
we're not worth it,
We're
Fridays.
not.
Okay.
WTF, March.
What the nani?
Hello. Wow, it's been 2 weeks since our last time we made a video, so we apologize. Also, welcome to our new video, as there's a lot that happened in March last month, as the time of recording this. So hopefully, if you've missed stuff, then hopefully we can cover in terms of some game news, some movie news, some anime news, some exciting stuff that happened last month. And as well, the reason why we missed the last 2 weeks is because David over here, on this side, you see.
Hello.
He
Hello.
The reason why we were busy is because he got married.
Yay. Yay. Yay, got the ring. Yay.
Yeah, so as you can see, his very lovely ring on his hand, married to now his wife.
That's right. That's right.
And also, David has a new background.
Oh, no more green screen. No. Unfortunately, that's gone now. I got a new place, so we just got my Gundams back there. So.
Okay, now you can show off your lovely collection.
Yes.
So yeah, that's a bit of life in the updates, and so that's just happening with us right now. Nothing different for me. I've just been busy with other stuff, so it's just we're only now making another video. So it's the start of April, but we're covering news from last month.
Oh.
So a lot happened this March, and the main thing that, at least the biggest thing for us, that happened was the Square Enix Presentation. And essentially what that is just a bunch of upcoming, as well as teasers of games to come from Square Enix as a publisher. And so the most recent one, or at least the most one that's probably well known right now, is the Outrider game, which is kind of like another Borderlands, Destiny 2 kind of style looter shooter, but more so focusing on story and not as a live service game. So that one's probably, by the time you're watching this, came out yesterday, April 1st, I believe. So what do you think about that, David?
I thought it was quite interesting. I never played it. I know there's the beta. I think you played it, the open beta, right, Tim? So yeah, exactly like Tim said. It's kind of like Destiny and Borderlands. Based on the trailer, it looks pretty epic. Definitely, I got the message where they want you to play super aggressively because your ability is just hardcore and full on powerful attacks. So it's quite interesting because sometimes I mostly play more defensive just because play it safe, but Outriders just straight up wants you to just go on full out and just go on full on rage, so more offensive. So I thought that was pretty cool based on the trailer I've seen.
So again, we probably don't need to go too much into these games for sake of how whatever we're talking about, but yeah, I played the demo, or at least the beta, or whatever you want to call it. It was fun to play with a few friends, because you can go play out with 2 other people. So of course playing these types of games with friends is always better. The combat is very it's very Borderlands, Destiny. You have your typical you have a skill maybe, or an ability, as well as your types of guns. So the guns are always kind of cool, and it's with this weird, I guess it's a unique kind of post-apocalyptic sci-fi setting. Playing through I guess you get to play through the first 3 hours of it, and the story at first was kind of oh, this is kind of boring. But then as the post-apocalyptic stuff happens, because I guess it's you're seeing the Earth, or the story before the post-apocalyptic stuff. So that of course it makes sense that that was kind of more tame and boring, and then after that, the story kind of picks up, and the explanation of how you got these powers and stuff like that was more cooler, and being able to actually see the skill trees and the abilities and stuff was more even fun to play around with. I got to play with the tank stuff, So I was just pretty much like an earthbender the whole time. It's just kind of like you
Yeah.
turn into rocks and like pieces fly around. You like fill your body up with like rocks, and then you're more of a super tank. And yeah, the games, it's really cool that they have a cool take of playing more aggressive. Like you only get to heal when you either kill enemies or based on like whatever your certain class does. Which essentially you need to kill something to regain your health back. Unlike like Call of Duty or other games where you just have to like, be in your hidey hole for a second and just have your health bar up. So it's really unique take. I think it's fresh in that sense. The controls, the movement feels a bit floaty sometimes, but maybe they'll change that, or if not, whatever, fix that. But it's cool that there's another co-op story. What's the word, like story focused game, instead of just like a mindless co-op shooter kind of thing. So then the next presentation they showed was the Tomb Raider, and I guess the anniversary of Tomb Raider, which is I think like 25 years now, which is crazy.
Wait, spinning. We went from pointy boobs into like actual human figure, which is 25 years on the making. So
yeah,
pretty
and
cool.
To celebrate that, they're doing they're releasing, which is supposedly out on the, you said it was it was the the PlayStation Store, as well as the Microsoft Store on PC or Xbox maybe. So if you can find that, because I couldn't earlier today. Apparently they have a sale for it, which is really cool. And of course it's the new Tomb Raider games, not to mistake the 2011 trilogy. It's the new 3 games of Tomb Raider recently. So have you played those games?
No, I kind of wish, but hey, they're gonna make a definitive Survivor trilogy, and then I might get it. But the closest game I would say is, I don't know, like, would you agree? Like, is it similar to Uncharted?
Yeah.
Or is it completely different? Yeah, similar. Yeah.
Similar style, yeah. You got story elements, 3D platforming shooter, kind of, yeah, cover shooter.
Okay, then I guess I kind of got the idea of what Tomb Raider is, but like, it's pretty cool to see how they made a definitive version, just because based on the trailer they showcased, it's like there's like what, more than 25 hours of DLC worth of content. Yeah. I don't know, something like that. I saw that, I'm like, whoa, that's a lot. So, but yeah, I saw it on the PlayStation Store, so it's like $26. I think it's US, but I'm not too entirely sure. But apparently the sale ends on April 4th, and then after that it'll be like $67. So that's a huge jump there.
So by the time this video is out, it's probably April 2nd on the Friday. So that means if you guys are watching this and you guys are thinking of getting the trilogy, it's definitely a good time to pick it up, as it is on sale. It's a pretty big sale too. Otherwise, April 4th. And if you haven't played these games already, it's probably a good pickup. Otherwise, yeah, it's I've only played the first 2. Actually, I'm still not playing the second one. I bought the third one, but I guess I could have waited. But well, whatever.
I hate when they do that too. And it's funny because they made a cookbook too, right?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they made a cookbook too. I'm like, wait,
survive
what?
Like her
with food. And here's a cookbook. So that got my attention. Like, oh, cookbook and
collector's edition.
That's a first.
Cookbook, yeah, that's included.
So I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool.
So the next few games are more of the smaller games after that in the presentation. I don't know the names of all of them specifically, but I know one of them is at least, or at least sorry, 2 of them. One of them is being Just Cause Mobile, which seems like a Just Cause battle royale-ish with very Just Cause mechanics. So releasing sometime later, maybe this year, I think they said.
Yeah.
So it'll be exciting. At least to see what it's like.
Yeah, well, I actually don't know what Just Cause really about, but based on the trailer, it's just mindless jumping around, explosions.
It's a lot of action, shooting, yeah.
A lot of action kind of thing. So that's pretty cool to be on mobile. So yeah, but I don't think it showed gameplay, did it?
No, it's just a pure trailer. Yeah. But assuming like Just Cause is, I think the main core like gameplay mechanic thing they have is like the hook shot. where you can like hook onto things and like fly around with it, and then like that seems to be maybe hopefully the main mechanic of their battle royale. Hopefully that at least that's what would separate them from the other mobile battle royales in the market. So they have another mobile game out there with another, so it's another Hitman game. It's another Hitman sniper, a mobile game. I totally whiffed out when I was watching it before, but I don't remember. I don't know if you remember any gameplay or if they showed any gameplay from the presentation there.
Oh no, it was like felt like a 15-20 second. It's like a cutscene, but it's not Agent 47, right? It's like some other agent. And then it's just kind of like kind of explaining like what's your main goal and mission, and obviously it just shows up the logo Hitman Sniper. So
okay.
Don't really know much about it, but I'm just going to assume that on mobile, you can choose your way how to execute people with a sniper.
Might just be like, you have like the sniper cam and then just like aim it around, find the right person and kill maybe.
Yeah, with the gyroscope.
Gyroscope with the phone, yeah.
Okay. That's pretty cool. But didn't really say much. Yeah.
All right, so moving on, we have a game called Tohu. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Tohu Spellblade. I know that's a Japanese game, Tohu, or the Tohu series. So it's interesting that Square Enix is publishing this kind of game, or at least this kind of franchise, I guess. So I don't remember seeing this either. I guess the presentation kind of just whooshed over my head.
Yeah, I think it's like a new arc. They're like showcasing like it's like another content story arc, but the way I took it is it's a basic puzzle bubble shooters and cute anime girls. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool.
And as well as some sort of, I think it was a I think the name is called Space Invaders, and I think it's just another sort of like Space Invader style, like a classic game, but like kind of like remade.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. But
with some multiplayer elements as well, I think.
Yeah. The way they showcase is like throw in the retro 90s space shooters or 80s, and just like casually showing off how much time has changed, and now they're remaking it. So yeah.
So I mean, it's cool. If the game is small, cheap, maybe I'll even pick it up too, just to kind of like relive those good days, the early gaming days.
Yeah, but I think the special feature they show off is like it's gonna be AR.
Ooh.
So augmented reality. So
that'd be pretty cool.
I don't know, yeah. So I was like, oh, augmented reality. Okay.
And alrighty, so moving on to their bigger games. This one was more known to, I guess, some players, but the Avengers got an update. Hawkeye is now out.
Yep.
They released it on March 18th, as well as Avengers also being on the PS5. Oh, sorry, the next gen consoles, not just PS5. So, and then of course anyone that has the last gen consoles, they get a free upgrade if you have next gen. So it's nice to be able to buy a game from last gen and then be able to get a free upgrade into the next gen if you have the current consoles. So
thank goodness. Just imagine how much money they rob us if they make us buy another copy.
Yeah, thank goodness they do. Avengers, I don't know, that game is still like, I feel like a lot of players will, like, at least people who have it like me, will come back, play it for like a few hours, depending on how long the Hawkeye content is. I haven't done it yet, and then kind of put it back down until later. They did reveal a roadmap though, which I'm more appreciative of, at least. And of course they tease as well the Black Panther being the next character they'll release with the upcoming content, which Avenger people who've played know that the Black Panther content is like the raid or whatever. So
that'll be epic.
Yeah, so excited for that. They said that's summer, so it looks like it'll just be another while until we actually get that. So, but they do have a layout of like the roadmap for the kind of like the upcoming from spring, from now to spring to summer, and so hopefully they actually can follow through with that. I still hope in the potential of Avengers, as it's one of the only Marvel big IP games of Marvel out there. That's, I guess, super high graphics and everything. So.
Yeah.
And then after that, they showed the Life is Strange. Oh, sorry, a new Life is Strange. Because there's 2 Life is Stranges, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, there's the
I think
new
they just call it
one.
Life is Strange 2 or something.
Yeah.
Anyways, so while David searches that up, they showcased a new Life is Strange called Life is Strange True Colors, which is like I guess it's all in the same universe, maybe. I'm not exactly too sure. And it's just about another character going through getting some superpowers and in the Life is Strange kind of style. So
That's pretty cool. Like, I'm not a fan of. Well, I guess I can't. Well, I'm not a fan because I don't really know much about it. But watching this trailer, I'm just like, actually, that looks pretty interesting. And just to look, I think there's 4 games of Life is Strange. There's the main game, one, then the second one, and then the little side story, like
before the storm, right?
Before the storm and the event and the awesome adventures of Captain Spirit.
Oh yes, that one.
There's that one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looks pretty interesting because I like story-driven games, and then to add a little twist. Yeah, the trailer got me hooked because like it's not like, oh, it's just a casual story, but then there's like some twist and some like mystery, and now he has supernatural powers, and you're like, whoa, what? Wait, this is strange. I think they got that on point.
Mm-hmm.
So, as a person that doesn't really play it, I thought it's great that they made the Ultimate Edition, where the Ultimate Edition comes with True Colors and the remasters of Life is Strange. So I'm like, hey, that's a good deal right there. So yeah, I never played it though. So okay.
The remaster is definitely worth checking out, especially if you haven't played those. The first, I guess, before, I'm assuming they're including Before the Storm in there, but that arc was really what set kind of like a new standard, I guess, maybe even after kind of the not the Walking Dead, but the Telltale games, since it's all kind of similar style of point and click adventure, storytelling, as well as just being able, like, this Life is Strange kind of like, I guess, universe, if we can call it that. It's cool how that, like, this character has like the power, and then I think they kind of explain it further, being like the power of like empathy or something. So like she can really feel the emotions of like people.
You're turning blue, Tim. I think you're sad. What is going on here? I must investigate.
Yeah, so I think it's a really cool way of like learning about like the world in that way, and the characters, and I guess the outcome of emotions that come from all that too. So it'll be exciting to actually see that come out.
And the cool thing about the Square Enix Present is that they actually got the singer voice for the main girl to announce it. Ooh. So yeah, she said she doesn't voice act the main character, but when the main character sings, then they use her voice.
Oh, nice.
So I'm like, that's pretty cool.
I don't know that.
And and then I guess I didn't realize she mentioned how, like, here's a big surprise that she was saying all the episode will be all released in one day when the game comes out, so you don't have to wait a week or something like that.
What?
So yeah, she said you can literally binge all of the chapters instead of just waiting. Because I guess that's what it was like for Life is Strange in the first place, where you have to wait for an episode to come out. So, but she said you get the whole full game, so you can binge it. So I thought that was pretty awesome.
That is pretty cool. That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Sweet. And then nearing the end of the Square Enix Presents, they announced a new project that they're working on, or at least they confirmed the project that they're working on, which is called Project I think
Venus or something.
I just forgot the name of it. But we know the name of it now, which is called Forspoken, and they already have, like, the main actor for it, which is I forgot her name, but she is also the actor in, or at least one of the actors from the newer Charlie's Angel movie. So it's cool to have like a voice, I guess, an actor do all like the mocap and stuff like that, and then see her in action. And it's like some cool like action RPG with like, you're like a mage with like very crazy mobility. So it's like a cool universe that Square Enix has. It looks very Final Fantasy to me, but it's not Final Fantasy, so it's like it's cool to see something else that isn't that.
Just expect it from Square Enix.
Yeah. I'm surprised I didn't see any more. Sorry, that was the last thing that they presented at the Square Enix Presents, which was really cool. I was surprised I didn't see any other like Final Fantasy news or Final Fantasy 16. Because I know recently they just kind of announced during the PlayStation, like that was like February, so where like, you know, they presented like Final Fantasy 15, like more Final Fantasy 15 content, or sorry, Final Fantasy 7 remake content with the Intergrade, and yeah, so it's kind of like, oh, where's 16? But I guess they're working on it, so you know, it's good on them, hopefully.
Yeah. They also mentioned Balan's Wander World.
Oh, I missed that one.
Yeah, that's okay. It's a bit short, but I don't really know much. But it's very. It gave me the Splatoon vibe because of the graphics and stuff. But I don't really know much about it. But it's interesting. So
yeah,
there's that.
And for any viewers watching, of course, what we have recorded here. But if you guys are watching this, you're probably seeing hopefully some trailers and stuff in the back while we kind of like talk over this, and it's kind of like see like just our thoughts on just the recent kind of like events that happened as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the Square Enix Presents. That was cool. Some old games that we know, a game that of course came out, and some upcoming games, which is pretty exciting. Some games are coming out later this year, some games are out now, and Forspoken, I guess, which is one of the more recent announcements, is going to come out, I think 2022 at least. So some pretty cool news there. But we shall move on.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to PlayStation's stay-at-home games. This is pretty exciting, just because PlayStation has apparently been doing this since I think 2020, ever since the COVID. You know, in support of Sony's way of saying like, you know, this is a like, you know, stay at home during, you know, pandemic right now. Stay safe. So here we can hopefully entertain you with some initiatives and some games that you us as players would enjoy. And yeah. I think they've been doing that. I don't know what. At least I've only heard of it more recently now, which is kind of funny. But apparently they did some releases of last year, but more recently for March specifically. I don't know if you guys haven't heard of it. We're a bit too late as of this video, because they were giving out Ratchet and Clank for free. No PS Plus needed. So just Ratchet and Clank, they were getting it for free for the month of March. So it ended on March 31st. So that was really cool. And as well as their upcoming free-to-play, kind of like for like completely free, no PS Plus needed, is Horizon Zero Dawn. Which is going to be free from April 19th to the 31st, I think, probably. So that's an exciting game to look out for. I haven't played it myself, since I had to choose between Breath of the Wild or Horizon Zero Dawn, which people were saying like we're kind of similar at that point. So, so really cool game there. And as well as right now, from March 25th to April 22nd, there's a bunch of other indie games as well. A lot of them are really good ones, like Abzu, Enter the Gungeon, Res Infinite, Subnautica, and The Witness. All of these are really good indie games. I definitely would recommend them if you guys haven't played them before. And as well as if you have a PlayStation VR, which I know David does, some of the really good ones they're also giving for free are VR Astrobot, which I think is one of the best PlayStation VR games, I think. There's Moss, which is like kind of a platformer, VR platformer. You control a mouse. I was gonna say Ratatouille, but Paper Beast, which I don't really know much about, and then Thumper, which I know is a VR. I guess more of a rhythm game itself, but you can kind of just visually see in the VR perspective, which is kind of cool.
Pretty good. Definitely recommend it.
So thank you, Sony, I guess, for giving us these free games. These games are actually pretty incredible, and hopefully you guys can claim them as well. As you don't need PS Plus, but hopefully everyone has the storage for these, because my PlayStation has like no storage at all.
Yeah, 500 gigs is not enough these days anymore.
So it's really cool. Again, hopefully everyone who hasn't played like Horizon Zero Dawn, I hope to kind of like pick that up when it comes April 19th. So that's for some PlayStation news, and just some recent I guess updates for some of these games, as well as some new games that came out recently in March. I think the biggest one, which is like the talk of the town right now, is Monster Hunter Rise, which we both picked up day one as well,
yeah.
and have been playing for a little bit. So just why don't you just say a little bit about it?
I love it. For those who don't know, I'm a Dauntless player. I would say I'm pretty decent. So yeah, the whole point of the game of Monster Hunter, what I really love is the co-op capability, where you can just join with 3 other hunters and just try to hunt down giant behemoths or monsters. And the best part about hunting the monster is you're doing it with your friends, as well as everyone there is learning the behavior of the monster. So it's not an easy just run in and just do your best to kill it. But it's more like understanding when is the best approach to attack, and keeping an eye on your stamina bar, your health, and as well as how sharp your blade is. So it's very it gets your brain thinking like, okay, when should I hold off and heal, or when should I hold off and do that. But my most favorite part is the cosmetics, because you get a dog and a cat and you get to dress them up with armors, and I just like, that's pretty fun. So there's my incentive to go out hunting monsters, because I need their parts to make clothing for myself and my animal friends. So yep.
So like as a I guess a newcomer to the Monster Hunter series, how is that experience for you as well? It's like just a general experience.
My first impression of it was, holy cow, this is hard. Just because Dauntless is very, very easy. And I guess it's beginner friendly, just because during the whole tutorial, there's a lot of text and I felt a little bit intimidating, but I'm like, oh, I got Tim and our other buddy Matt there to kind of help me out, to guide me through. So, but my goodness, the music was good and the graphics was beautifully made, and it's just a pretty looking game. So as a beginner, just expect to die a lot. If you're dying a lot, I think you're playing the game the right way for the first time, because you're supposed to die a lot, because the game is supposed to tell you that, hey, learn the behavior of the monster to kill it, just don't go in. So there's a lot more strategic gameplay into it. So
yeah,
definitely recommend it. Yeah.
The game's definitely harder comparing it to Dauntless. You have to like aim your shots, and like I think that the thing that stumped us the most so far in our gameplay was just staggering each other. So like it's nice that we don't, there's no friendly fire, but like, if we're all like around each other and we're all like trying to smack the monster, like I guess the weapon could like hit our friends, and like it would just like stagger each other, so we just kind of like lose damage that way. So that's kind of like one of the weird things we learned playing co-op. So it's kind of funny, but also like weird at the same time.
Your big swing can cancel my combo. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I'm in like by no way like good at Monster Hunter. Like I put in like some time in Monster Hunter World, but it's not enough compared to, I think, the experience that like a lot of the Monster Hunter veterans are that have put into the game. So but I'm definitely enjoying it as well. Just like having the whole Monster Hunter experience, and the streamlining of just being able to play with your friends a lot quicker than what World was able to. So.
Mhm.
Aside from Monster Hunter Rise being, I think, one of the biggest games released on the Switch, which is probably the most sold game on the Switch right now. Just some notable, I think, mentions from some other games or some other game updates, being like Fall Guys Season 4. They recently just had some new maps, obviously new season, and a new mode where they're calling it squad mode, meaning you can kind of like queue up with your squad now, and you're qualified onto the next kind of like race based on like how well your overall team does, which is a lot better than how the game played before, where if one person died, everyone else made it in. It's kind of like everyone feels bad for that one guy who died in like stage 1. It's kind of like, now like, do we leave? And the guy's like, no, keep playing, right? So now that's kind of over. We have squad. So now there's more. At least the idea there's more strategy to it, where you can like maybe actually like hold people down as like you get your buddies to go past. So I think some more fun coming out of squad mode. So at least that's kind of a notable mention. I know Among Us, it has a new map, I believe.
Yeah, it's like airship one, right?
Yes, it's the airship.
Yeah.
Of course, maybe you'll see a trailer of it in the background. It's a new map with new mechanics. Among Us is still like crazy talked about, from like YouTubers and like Switch streamers of like Toast, or a lot of Among Us is still out there. So cool that there's an official new map for the game, which is crazy.
Also, Fall Guys Season 4 has a crossover with Among Us, so you can get your dudes to look like the Among Us characters. And I'm like, yo, what the heck? That's cool.
Dang.
Yeah. So
there's so many Easter eggs and costumes in Fall Guys, being able to look like Godzilla and stuff like as well.
Yeah.
So it's just pretty hype. Moving on to, there was an indie game dev kind of like showcase where a lot of the devs were able to kind of like showcase their games, and a lot of them were cool. You can find this on like IGN, GameSpot probably. Links will be in the description, maybe showcasing or like linking to like one of the days, because it was a 2-day event, so it was pretty long. It was like 10 hours total. So, but we won't really go through it all. It's kind of me and David have a game that like kind of like highlights, I think, what kind of stands out to us the most. So David, why don't you talk about a game that stood out to you the most?
Yeah, there's a bunch of indie games, and there's no way we can cover it all. So the game that mostly stuck out for me was Hello Neighbor 2. Just because I never understood what Hello Neighbor was really about. Like, I even watched a video of like Markiplier playing it, and I still had no idea what the whole point of it. But then I watched the AI trailer for it, and essentially the premise of the game is you think your neighbor is pretty shady, so you're trying to sneak in to find answers. And the cool thing about Hello Neighbor is that your neighbor, he's like an AI that learns on what your approaches are, so you can't pull off the same approach. So if you're going to walk into the same window and you die and you go back again, the AI understands you're going to try jumping in there again. So, and with Hello Neighbor 2, they're kind of showcasing the AI actually learns other players publicly on other approaches. So that means the AI is learning so much that you have to be on your feet every time he comes around and stuff. And I have to say, I was very impressed with the trailer because it got my heart racing, because the way it showed off was you got in, and then you saw him, so you kind of counter him by going around. But for some reason, the AI learned from other players. They did the same thing. So you notice the neighbor actually turn around and try to counter you. And you're like, oh, snap. And then next thing you know, you go into a room and you lock the door. But little did the player know that the AI already learned that there's a key. So the neighbor went to grab the key. And then, yeah, it's just like all intense. It's just like counter. And I'm like, okay, thanks trailer for explaining what the game is. So that stuck out to me a lot. So I'm like, this is pretty cool concept that they have.
Nice. Yeah, it's crazy how Yeah, the Hello Neighbors series, they made like the kind of like the Dead by Daylight kind of style game too, where like someone can play as that like the neighbor chasing down the kids and the kids gotta escape. So it's a really cool like idea, especially with like how they showcase the AI being like super smart and learning from you. It's definitely an interesting game. The game that stood up to me the most in the indie showcase was the Operation Tango. So this game's like a 2-player co-op where one player is kind of like the computer hacker, you know, like in Spider-Man, where like you got the guy on I forgot his name already.
In the chair.
Ned. Ned's the guy,
Ned.
like you're Ned and the guy in the chair, and then like you have like Spider-Man, which is, I mean, not Spider-Man, but you have like the spy who's like on the field, and it's a kind of like so it's a co-op puzzler kind of game where the hacker has like information that like maybe the spy doesn't know, so you have to like relay that information, and then like once the spy kind of finds out certain like puzzle pieces or like certain things, they send it back to the hacker, and the hacker has to like do some hacks or like puzzles in a sense to like solve them, and then like get the spy to like, or get the hacker has to like open the doors or whatever for the spy to like kind of move on. So it's like a cool back and forth kind of like puzzle between, so like the hacker doesn't see anything that the spy sees, and the spy doesn't see what the hacker sees. So it's very cool. Like you gotta like really communicate. So I kind of like love those kind of ideas for these kind of puzzle games as well. So
Sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. For the viewers, we'll have like a link in the description for like, you know, just like a list of all the indie games that were kind of showcased, and as well as if you want the kind of the original like kind of 5-hour 10-hour showcase as well. So links will be in the description, so check it out there. Oh man, there's so many things in March. It's crazy.
Yeah.
The BAFTA Awards happens, which is essentially the British awards for video games. Again, we won't really highlight that a lot here. We're kind of just saying this is what happened. We'll put a link in the description, but we just know like it's just another award show for video games, and it's another way to get video games to be presented or showcased here as well. So
It was quite entertaining to watch, so I recommend watching it. So it's good.
I believe that's it for at least gaming news of March. I know I guess we're kind of weird for us, where we're not really presenting news as they come out. We're kind of like, hey, here's kind of a recap. So if you didn't know these things, cool. We're here to present that to you as of these things that happen, as well as, of course, if you just enjoy our content, then you know, yay.
Yeah.
But there are some anime news. At least some notable anime stuff that for us it makes at least worth talking about, and one of them is being I believe it was My Hero Academia season 5 coming, and as well as there's a movie 3 trailer that was also released during March as well. I've only seen season 1 of My Hero, so I mean, David, if you want to talk any more about the hype of season 5 and possibly the movie as well.
Yeah, so I'm pretty much caught up. I still haven't watched the first episode of season 5. I have to say it's pretty intense because season 4 was so well done. Like we even talked about it in the Crunchyroll awards in the last recap video of the Deku versus Overhaul. But yeah, I'm very hyped up for it because season 4 ended with a major cliffhanger. But I'm not a manga reader, so for those who already read the manga, then you know what it is, but don't spoil. But I have no idea what happened, but it's just a huge cliffhanger, so I'm really hyped up to see. And as well as they're definitely addressing some like kind of rival between class versus class, so 1A versus 1B. So during the season, you kind of see them like 1B hating on 1A, like, oh, you think you're all cool? So now this whole season is like based on the trailer, it's like dedicated to like, you know what, let's show off this whole rivalry right now. So that's epic. As well as for the movie 3, I watched both movies. So Two Heroes and Hero Rising, both were amazing. And seeing movie 3, it's pretty hyped up, even though it was only a 45-second trailer. One of the highlights was you see on the news, there's a picture of the main character, Deku. And then under the banner, it's like, wanted for murder. And you're like, yo, what the heck?
Ooh.
So you're like, oh, okay. I'm curious about what's going on. But I think the best part of the trailer is they show off the 3 strongest heroes in training with their new suit. And new suit as in they're like black and they're original color coded. So Deku's green, so it's black and green. Bakugo is orange, so it's black and orange. So it's just kind of like it's kind of cool to see they have a new suit. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Watching that movie too as well.
All right, cool. And as well, I think the notable thing is the Demon Slayer movie is coming out real soon in English. So it's finally excited, or I guess finally hyped up that it's finally subbed, and we can actually see it in action. I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but I still haven't finished it yet. I'm only on episode 18, so I'm at the hype part right now.
Okay, nice.
I'm trying to finish it up because apparently in the US at least, I don't know about Canada, but it's confirmed that the movie will come out April 29th. I'm not sure if that's actually confirmed for Canada itself. I know they just kind of say North America, but I always assume US is like more confirmed, at least more concrete than Canada. Because I know for like where we live, it's only a very specific few theaters will kind of like, hey, here's the movie, right? So
yeah.
So we'll kind of wait and see how that. But it's exciting that it's actually coming pretty soon. April is already here, so coming at the end of the month is pretty hype itself. So yeah.
Finally, I've been waiting for so long.
The best anime of 2019 probably.
Yep.
So yeah, so those are the big like anime news kind of like that happened in March. And moving on to the last kind of still media, but essentially just movies and TV shows. More so just talking about like the trailers that came out and possible movies as well. First being WandaVision ending, which I think is pretty hype because apparently that sets up, for Doctor Strange. I know, like, I haven't seen it myself, but I just know in general that's, I guess that's kind of spoilers, but it's really cool that they're still connecting the MCU, tying the MCU from TV to movie and back and forth like that. So it's exciting. And then of course, everyone that I've heard that watched it is like, everyone's like all mind blown with how like it's unraveling. So WandaVision's hyped. I might just pick up Disney Plus for like a month just to like watch it or something like that. And as well, since WandaVision is ending, we now have Marvel's Falcon and Winter Soldier. Just first two episodes I think are out now. Also going on a weekly thing, so that's also pretty hype. They bring back what's the bad guy?
The guy that kept speaking Russian to the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Just sort of went nuts. Like
now we get like more like to see how he plays out, which is kind of really cool.
Yeah.
As well as
I keep seeing memes about it with the Captain America.
The Captain America, yeah, I keep seeing that too. It's just like the fake Captain America. Captain America at home. Funny. Oh man.
Captain America at home.
So those are the notable, at least like TV shows that are probably like within this month for us, and hopefully for you guys as well. Let us know how like WandaVision was for you guys in the comments down below. I'm sure it's super mind blowing, but yeah. An interesting one I think that I do want to watch, but I didn't even know that came out, was Godzilla vs. Kong.
Yeah. Yeah, monsters, giant monsters. I love it. I love it. I don't know, like the trailer it's interesting how there's a lot of Godzilla movies already out that came out. And I heard they were really good too. As well as Kong Skull Island.
Mm-hmm.
That was very interesting. I just thought it was funny, like, hey, look, it's Loki and Captain Marvel in there. Look at that. So, and then 11 from Stranger Things, she's in Godzilla too. So, yeah, my impression was it's pretty cool. Like, I'm not surprised they actually got it going. Like, all right. So
yeah, I'm interested to see like how King Kong got so big, or like what like the mysteries behind, like if there's like a different Kong out there. Like I've heard so many like rumors and stuff about it, so it's like, I need to watch this thing.
I thought it was funny because in the trailer you just see him like using an axe. I'm like, yo, what is it? Is that the storm? Is that the Stormbreaker from Thor? Like, what the heck? So I was like, dang, okay. But clearly, I read on the media where I think the director or producer said like there is a clear winning side. So I'm just curious, then, which team are you rooting for?
Ooh, I feel like it's Godzilla, honestly.
Yeah, just because he has more movies.
Yeah. It's like we only got like one movie, and then now like they're racing each other. So unless they're really like presenting more Kong in this movie, and then the build up is to racing Godzilla, but we'll find out.
That's true. Yeah, because in the trailer they showed off more of Kong's origin. So yeah, maybe. But it's funny. I had a discussion with my friend with a friend, right? And he's into like the old school Godzilla and old school King Kong movies. And I asked him like, so who do you think will win? He said, if I was an American's perspective, I would say Kong. But if I was in the Japanese side, yeah, I'll straight up say Godzilla because he has a hyper beam. I'm like, yeah, you're right. He does have a hyper beam, so it's just funny. Like I thought that was an interesting comment that he made. That like, oh, if I was in the American size or Japanese size,
I was gonna pull up some like the old like King Kong versus like Godzilla, where it's like paper mache and everyone's all like, dressed up in the costume. You got those are the real classics.
Yeah, and just wait. They're gonna add like Pacific Rim, like Jaeger's coming in there. You're like, yo, wait a minute.
It's all one universe.
It's all in one universe now. So.
But yeah, those and as well, there's one more, or I guess our last thing on our list is the Zack Snyder Justice League edition essentially, being a recut, I guess, of his version of what he wanted the Justice League to be, which is apparently a 4-hour movie, which is like insane to me.
Yeah, I guess it's more content, I guess. So I don't know, but from what I understand, if you on HBO Max, I think they separated by episodes.
Oh, okay.
So
or
it's
like
not
parts.
so bad.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
It's like sitting 4 hours straight. Like for me, the longest movie I ever watched was Lord of the Rings. Like it was good, but I wasn't used to watching 3 hours and more.
Yeah,
I'm used to like the 2 hour or and a half cap, but then anything further, it's kind of like my brain just kind of slowly shuts down. But
even like the Endgame was kind of pushing it for me. It's just like, oh, it's like a really long movie, but it's still so hype. But yeah, it's just
it's the end game. Might as well milk everything in it. So, but I hear, end game was really long too. Like even though I really enjoyed it, but I noticed myself kind of just drifting a little bit. So yeah, let us know in the comments as well, like what you guys were excited for March, and of course what you guys are excited for right now in this month, as there's probably more events, as we have to like figure out like what are these events coming, whether it's games, movies, TV shows. There's always, I think, something cool to talk about, something that like we may miss in this as well. So just like how did you guys watch the new Justice League, I guess? How did you guys enjoy it? I heard mixed reviews.
Yeah,
there's mixed reviews out there.
Maybe it's just too long.
Well, one of the review, I think it's famous, is GameSpot. They reviewed it as 3 out of 10.
Oh,
and I was just reading everyone's comments, and they're just like, this is the most horrible. Like they're just bashing the reviewer and stuff. And his claim was there's a lot of poor CGI. You can see. The key man comment about 4 hours, where it's just really long, and all the Snyder's cuts were all like not widescreen. It's like old school square.
Oh.
Yeah, that's that's one of the red flags he put up. Like, well, all the cuts are like, that Snyder's cuts is when it's like in the square format. I forgot the ratio, but it's not widescreen. So you have that black bar on the side.
Oh, interesting.
So he made a comment on that. So I don't know. It's like most of the comments I read that was bashing him, you can tell they're very super fans.
Yeah.
So, but then you have IGN where they're like 8 out of 10. So like different spectrums. So.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm curious with the viewers here. You're watching this video. What are your thoughts on that? So.
Yeah, I think it's cool that we get more at least context from all the heroes. Aside from I guess Aquaman, who got his own movie, and as well as Wonder Woman. So it's just kind of nice to see like more Cyborg, more Flash. A bit more Batman, I think, kind of. I think from what I saw.
Well, I don't want to spoil it, but there's that character that came, and you're like, oh, okay, that's cool. Like it started something, right?
Oh, that's true. So, I think I know what you're talking about, but I'm like, oh, yeah, I understand.
Yeah. He smiles a lot. That's all I can say. So.
Well, so there you have it. That's all the news from March that we thought were really cool. In case you may have missed it or not, I thought these were, just worth talking about. Whether we got our reactions from it or not. I think these are some cool games, especially the PlayStation games at home. Hopefully you guys, were able to at least claim Ratchet and Clank. If not, hopefully be hyped for Horizon Zero. It's called Zero Dawn. Horizon Zero Dawn, because that game is also really good. Even though it is on PC too, but it originally came on PS4, so.
And it's free.
Yeah.
Why are you complaining if it's free?
Can't beat free. So thank you for joining us. Hopefully you guys like these recap style videos where we kind of just get to talk about and showcase just recent events that happened. And so thank you for watching to the end here, as well as sticking with us as well. We really enjoy just how you guys like comment, sometimes comment, sometimes whether our friends are watching as well, just like giving us comments, like what's coming up next. And so hope you guys are satisfied. Well, of course we'll try to keep going with weekly videos, and so we apologize again for the 2-week absence, but we have a legit reason.
That's my bad. I'll take the hit. Got a new place.
We have a legit reason. So I just feel like it's not fair for me to just record solo, because this is Worth of Fridays with 2 co-hosts, with me and David itself. So
thank you, Oni-san. Arigatou gozaimasu.
So hopefully we'll get a so enjoy this video, and we'll be back to our usual schedule, hopefully with more quick reviews and more podcast style videos as well. So see you guys next time. We are WTF recaps. We're Worth of Fridays.
WTF, Marge? So much content. WTF, right?
We'll see you guys in our next video.
Bye.